in my home, and yes, okay. So I'm going through this list that I'm doing. There's I've realised that I want it to be even more less offensive towards all of them. So basically, I want the singers and celebrities to give me the power by saying that I'm either Christ or the Antichrist, and then I want to give the power back to them by giving them by calling them my angels and saying that they all represent a different side of me. You know, humans are made in my image, and therefore you are all going to tap into different sides of me. And although there's probably a lot of sides that I'm not like I don't really swear. Like I'm not I'm not very lustful or anything. And I there's a lot of the sides that aren't like me. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there that just like they would look at someone and they would just see whatever they want to see. You know, like I have clients all the time who, like, I'm not getting that many now, but I had clients all the time that were just like absolutely shocked that I'm not horny, or that I can't turn that they can't turn me on or something like that. So you know, I have like no lust in me. But even like someone like Megan Stillion, I haven't really watched any of her music videos, but I know she was in the one with Dua Lipa, and there's this one called Her, and you know, I think she represents lust, and I don't think I'm anything like her. But at the same time, there are a bunch of guys that would probably look at me and think, yeah, I have a lustful side inside of me, and it's not truth. It's not like I don't, you know, I don't think that I'm really very similar to her in any way. But I feel like there's some people that would just believe whatever they want to believe, and therefore even someone like her, like if I give the singers like titles like angel of something, or angel of this, angel of lust, or angel of, that might actually be a better way to give them power. And I don't really know why I want to give them power, but I feel like I have to, or I feel like there's so many people in this world, and I really want to form a sort of one world society. But because there's so many different types of people, there needs to be like a leader or a representation who's not actually, who's just a singer, like who's whatever, but yeah, who represents all these different types of people. And then they can all, like, you know, everyone has a sort of a type that they like. I know I'm not really focusing on too much on country. I haven't really focused much on country, and I haven't really focused that much on rock. But I do have ideas of who can be them, and I can happily say that they're an angel. I don't think they represent me in any way, but at the same time, I feel like if I changed my clothes, then I could probably fit into any style. Like if I dressed like a rock chick, I could probably, because I like a lot of rock songs, and I could easily kind of fit into that category. And I feel like if I dressed like a country girl, then I could probably also fit into like the country girl. I feel like I'm changeable. Like I have me, and I'm me, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of these different sides or different characters can mostly depend on like the type of clothes that you wear. And I find that wearing different clothes actually brings out a different side of me. And yeah, but anyway, so I'll just give a rundown of the new titles. So these are not titles that you should take seriously. Whatever titles I give them before, that is kind of, I find the like the real, like, accurate side of them. But I don't want to promote them as that. I want to more say, so we'll go to this top. No, not from the top. We'll go from so Madonna, God representation. Um, uh, uh, these are the main ones. Alice DJ, who represents God, but also shows how God can use sort of less known singers and sing through them. And I think that's quite an important thing, a message to say, because it kind of then gives power to a lot of other singers, because there's a lot of singers who I haven't really heard of, and I don't really haven't watched their music or anything. But yeah, I don't mind giving. I just want to basically just give power to lots and lots of different people to confuse the masses or whatever, and to confuse, yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of characters that do represent like the devil or the darker side, but at the same time you could also confuse them with different angels and feel like, oh, they're quite similar, when really that there's more in it, in there's more detail in their songs that say different things. But anyway, Taylor Swift, okay, the newer version of God. Katy Perry, the intelligent side of God. Gaga, God's more God's more sexy side. How about that? Instead of saying what I was going to say before, but Gaga can represent God's more sexy side, because there is a lot of sex in her music videos. I mean, really, I feel like it's sex used as a way of trying to just say how much I hate people. But if you ignore that part, you can just say it's like she's the more sexy side of God. And Gwen Stefani is the funner side, of course. And Kylie Minogue is like God's spirit of love. Nicki Minaj, okay, what about God's power over people, like to show power? She has a lot of power, and she's supposed to be represent, like, the queen of demons, so she does have a lot of power because she's the queen of demons. But at the same time, just ignore the demon and ignore the queen as well. I think we should try and like connect it as much to. So maybe these can be like these are just my ideas, to connect the angels and give them power, but try and connect them to both God and to Christ. But at the same time, a lot of them don't represent me in a lot of ways. But at the same time, if I just call them angels and say that all angels represent me in different ways, then it's like sort of saying that they're like me without actually saying that they're like me. I think that might be an idea. And then Pink is like the tougher side of God. Beyonce, what about like the mother of God? Like, okay, technically God, I do believe I did have a mother a very long time ago and she's dead. But yeah, the whole idea of the mother of something is something different. And okay, she represents a false God, because I don't actually have a mother, or at least I haven't had for a very, very, very long time. So by saying that she's the mother of God, it implies that she's a different God, like a God that's not me. But yeah, it's also deceptive and gives power to her. And I think if there is going to be an antichrist and a false prophet, I think Justin Bieber would be the false prophet. No, Justin Bieber would be the antichrist because he represents Jesus, and I think Jesus is the real antichrist. And then Beyonce represents the false prophet, because if she is being like, represents the mother of God, God doesn't have a mother, so that's a false prophet, because it's something that doesn't actually exist, or at least hasn't existed for a very long time. But yeah, so that could be just a temporary name until the true name of false god comes in, but that'll be whenever. And then Britney Spears, okay, Christ representation, formed by God. Rihanna, the dark side of God. Christ, yeah, Rihanna's the dark side of Christ's dark side. Christina's Dala's representation. I don't need to go into detail about it. Mary J. Blige is the Catholic Mary. Selena is the Christian Mary. Okay, then we've got the angels list. So this is the angels list that I was thinking. Jennifer Lopez, instead of like a mixture of all the angels, I'll just say the angel of angels, because it's kind of like it says the same thing, the angel of angels. So she's kind of like an angel that's like a bunch of angels mixed together, but it's in a better title. The angel of angels sounds better. And if all angels represent me in this false telling of what they represent, then people might be able to link what she says to things that I might say. Really, she actually just represents the angels. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to give too much away. That's the whole point. So I'm coming up with a deceptive name. Shakira is the angel of God. I would say that just because she's got another language, and so does God in a way, but I don't really want to specifically say that because people are going to be questioning what other language God has. So I'll just the angel of God. And then Kelly Rowland is like the angel of Aaliyah, because she's kind of like, I think she's, out of all the angels or all the singers, she's the one that's most like Aaliyah in sort of her upbringing and personality. A person's personality comes from their upbringing and their background, and she has that. Oh dear. Hello. I am